Hey there students, welcome to my video on adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency, it sounds very complicated, but as a matter of fact it's not as hard as it may seem. Now, we talked about word order, and the basic word order is the swamped word order, the subject, verb, manner, place, and time, as you've seen in the video previously. Now, the tricky thing about English sentences is that sometimes you are stuck with words that you need to put into your sentence, but it's kind of hard to figure out where to really put them. And the adverbs of frequency, the word frequency is a word that you might know. Frequency tells you how often something happens, and adverbs are words that will define the verb, that really change the verb, the manner in a way. These are adverbs. So adverbs of frequency, these are words that tell you how often something is happening. Now, examples can be never, often, sometimes, usually, rarely, regularly, etc. All these words, they tell you how often something happens. Now, the basic rule, if we just take the word never, where do we put these? You will grow some sort of language sense of where to put them. But if you have, see if you can remember this, there are three rules. If you have a sentence which contains the verb to be, and to be is the only verb in the sentence, so here we have I am late, am is the verb, it's the only verb in the sentence, then the adverbs of frequency are placed directly behind the verb. So in this case, if you take the word never or often or sometimes, you wouldn't say I sometimes am late or I never am late. No, you put these right here. So if you have a verb to be, and it's the only verb in the sentence, then this is where you put it. The second one, now, again, we have one verb, but the verb is not the verb to be, but it's the verb watch. I watch movies. What we do now is we change it. Instead of putting it behind the word, now we put these words in front of the verb. So we don't say I watch never movies, but I never watch movies. So these are kind of easy to distinguish. So if there's a verb to be behind, if it's not, then you put it in front if there's only one verb in the sentence. So watch here and then am. The third one now gets a little harder, because the difference between 3 and then 2 and 1 is in a sentence 3 we have two verbs, has and told. So the rule of saying if it's not a form of the verb to be, we put it in front. So we say she never has told me I'm good at English. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So what you do now with adverbs of frequency is that if you have more than one verb, has and told, then these words are put directly behind the very first verb that you have in your sentence. So behind the very first one. In this case, so you have she, which is the subject. Then we have has and told, which are the verbs. And these are your verbs, so we put it directly behind the first one. You have spotted that has is a verb and told is a verb. So where do we put it? Right here. So what do we get is she has never told me I'm good at English. She's often told me I'm good at English. She has sometimes told me. She has regularly told me. So you use an adverb of frequency that really fits the sentence, and you put it directly behind the first one. Okay, I hope that's a little clearer for you. These adverbs of frequency, there are pretty much no exceptions to this rule, so try to implement it this way, and your sentence will look even more swamp-proof. All right, bye-bye.